our new council members. Here are now members of the council from this point forward, and we thought this would be an opportunity for each of you to share any thoughts that you'd like with family, friends, and the community. And so we'll kind of go in reverse order and start with Council President Carlson.
Let's see. Sure. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much, Administrator Reimer. Well, it is a bit surreal to be part of such a momentous and historic moment in transition for our community in this virtual format. Nevertheless, I'm so grateful to have reached this day, this moment shared by our community, and to glimpse the inspiring potential of this new council. I know it'll take some time for us to catch our stride, but I'm optimistic that we will practice mutual respect and work together to overcome our most pressing challenges and build a brighter future. The past 2 months have been an opportunity to learn from my predecessor, President Staver, get to know my new council colleagues, meet with other leaders, talk to constituents, and learn from the city's excellent and expert staff about what their highest priority projects are. I'm so honored and excited to better understand what your highest priorities are so we can be thoughtful stewards of our public dollars, determine where there's alignment, and translate those shared priorities into policy and action. I grew up in a Rochester family deeply committed to improving communities. My parents led by example, and my brothers and I have spent our careers working to further this commitment. Some of you know that I lost my father just before the election. Today, with a hopeful heart, I step into this new role as City Council President, sitting at his desk in his office, carrying him with me each step of this new journey. I certainly would not be here today without the love and support of my whole family, but especially my husband and my children who you just saw. My husband, Brian, and my sons, Theron and Foster, as well as my mom, and they're all watching together today, cheering me on. This has not been an easy road, but today I walk my talk and demonstrate to my sons what it means to contribute your very best self to make the most meaningful change, even when that requires making personal sacrifices. I must also thank my friends near and far, many of whom are watching right now, my colleagues, my campaign team, my volunteers, all the people who believed in me and that I could lead in a new way, grounded in hope, compassion, and courage. My campaign centered on my values of collaboration, equity, efficiency, and community-informed decision-making, and I remain committed to those values. I will surely make mistakes along the way, but I will continue to grow and learn, and am always open to feedback. We stand on a firm foundation and a rich history in Rochester with a quality of life unmatched or matched by few other places. We have room to improve and ensure we do not just recover from the pandemic, but we rebuild a just community where all people have the opportunity to thrive. With this new council and our partners in the community, we have the opportunity to build on and innovate around issues that really matter to us, like economic rebuilding, but also affordable living and sustainability and equity, to make this the very best community it can be for generations to come. Thank you so much for trusting me that I can build bridges and represent our whole community as your city council president. My contact information will be on the website. Please do not hesitate to reach out and connect at any time. And I will pass it back to Administrator Reimer for my next council member colleague to go. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Council President Carlson. Nice job. I'm now going to turn over to Councilmember Bransford to share a few words.
There we go. Mute. Well, thank you, Mr. Reimer. Wow, what a journey. It's been an incredibly rewarding time, and here we go. So first and foremost, I'd like to thank the people of Ward 2 and my supporters across the city. The outpouring of support at every level remains humbling and gratifying. And I thank everyone in the city staff for all their kindness and hard work in helping us transitioning into this role. You've held our hands. You'll hold our hands a little more until we can walk instead of crawl. But thank you again. There's a lot to learn, and I really do appreciate your time. And I am incredibly proud to be sworn in by Judge Lund. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be among such a wonderful, talented, and dedicated group on this council. I look forward to working with you. We've got some challenges ahead, but I know we're going to do a great job, and I know that we're going to do so in a collegial and civil way, and we're going to get a lot done, and we're going to be proud of the work that we do. I want to say thank you to my wife, Lori, and my children, Lizzie, Emma, Philip, and Eddie, for supporting me during this busy but rewarding campaign. I have sore legs and knees to prove that we were all over the place. I'm ready to get to work and guide us through a truly difficult time ahead, and to ensure Rochester is a vibrant place to live for everyone, and that we are proper stewards of our tax dollars. Soliciting development of workforce-priced housing should be our top priority, and in particular, housing with ownership options. The biggest source of inequity in those who rent is those who rent versus those who own, which falls along socioeconomic and racial lines. Everyone should have equal access to options where they can build and save equity. If not, we lock those barely making ends meet into a position where they cannot gain wealth and break the cycle of poverty. This priority is foundational to our city's commitment to equality and inclusiveness. We are a city, not a collection of individuals, and we must remember that. We all have our part. I urge everyone to become civically engaged and participate in our collective movement into the future. Volunteer your time, join a board, participate in your church's outreach, spend time helping out at the warming houses for the indigent and homeless. There are so many opportunities for one to get outside their comfort zone and to look at life through a very different perspective. A smile and compassionate understanding go a long way to remind us that we are human beings. Yet far too many hide behind keyboards and inflame divisiveness. Please refrain from that. Instead, consider how you can help and go do it. That is why I ran for office. My election certificate is not an avenue to power, but a social contract to be a bridge between City Hall and the people. Help me help you, for I will come and go in my role as a council member and community advocate. But if by example, I can encourage and inspire you to become involved, then I have accomplished much. Thank you. Mr. Reimer, I pass it back to you for my next colleague.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Bransford. Next, we'll have Councilmember Kirkpatrick.
Thank you, Mr. Reimer. The first thing I'd like to do is offer reverence and respect to the Native people that once lived in this place. I acknowledge and I recognize the land we stand on and now call home was once occupied by the great nations of the Dakota and the Sioux. Second, here we stand on the perch of a new year loaded with possibility. So I have to thank everyone that supported the campaign. Thank you for hosting signs, for driving, managing my campaign finances, for planning, advising, putting countless stamps and mailing labels on tons of postcards, and volunteering your creativity and social media skills. And for those of you that voted for me, thank you so very much. I appreciate everyone that donated to the Kelly for Council campaign during a time when many of us had so much less to give. And special thanks, of course, go to my family. I could not have campaigned at the level that I did without your support. Thanks for hanging in there with me. It was completely worth it. Third, as many of you know, I ran for office because I want to do more to improve our community. I care about the things that we do here, our work, our play, and how we meet our needs. Through my experiences, I hope to play a positive role in how I will serve you, and I'm honored to be able to represent Ward 4, doing all I can to carry your voice forward. So as we greet 2021, I invite you to become engaged in your city. Form a neighborhood association in your neighborhood. Sign up to receive POLCO notifications and begin attending city council meetings. You could even sign up to be on a board or a commission, or maybe form a small group to work on with your neighbors on an important issue that's happening surrounding you. I'd like to find answers to the most significant issues facing us. Things like fair and equitable housing, living and prevailing wages, public safety, food security, and sustainable development that promotes clean energy, clean air, and of course, water, because our city has a long history filled with water issues and problems. And last, here is my pledge to you. I pledge to increase trust between the residents, the city, and the city government. I pledge to ensure that trust by holding accountable those in charge of planning for our city. I pledge deeds, not just talk. And I pledge to be charged with guaranteeing quality outcomes that positively affect the many, not just the few. So here I am for you. I'm not here to work alone, but with you and for you. I'm your representative. I will listen to you and get the things done that need to be done. I embrace this work with a full heart to help us all become stronger and feel a little prouder of this place we now call home. Better days are ahead, and we will emerge from the pandemic with greater resolve to create a more equitable and resilient community. Let's get to work, Rochester, together.
Thank you, Councilmember Kirkpatrick. Nicely done. And last but absolutely not least, Councilmember Dennis. It's your turn.
Why, thank you. This morning we were cleaning up breakfast and my children and I turned on the local news and there was the council and myself on the TV. And it is incredibly humbling and kind of surreal, but I want to say that this responsibility, this deep responsibility will never be taken lightly. This is such an honor. And to be running for public office means that you put your life on this public display, and it's intimidating with little resources to step out into the campaign trail. But luckily, money doesn't win elections. Votes do. And so I just want to say thank you to the 4,275 residents of Ward 6 who cast their vote for me. And for everyone in Ward 6 who did not vote for me, I want to say that I'm going to show up and stand up and listen to your voice so that you are heard. All of Ward 6 is heard on the City Council. We want to look for the future, and I want to also thank the former Ward 6 representatives Annalisa Johnson and Sandra Means for their amazing service to our community. But most importantly, the essential workers. The essential workers need to be thanked above all. They're the unsung heroes. They're my coworkers in the Rochester School District. They're the caregivers in the medical field. They're the people in the trench, the ones who are on the front lines. And I just want to say thank you. My heart is bursting with appreciation for all that you do. We want to say that this is a full-time job on the City Council. So I commend the previous council for giving the economic ability, so people who have lower incomes like myself, the ability to run. And I encourage everyone, regardless of your journey in life, to also put your name on the next ballot and make a difference, because change comes from within the system. The path to equality is a long journey, and our country has been founded and by the weight and power of institutional racism. And so we need to create courageous conversations. We need to have critical examination of what our narrative is, so we can change that. And this is the time to do it. The time is now to hear creative ideas and to uplift voices so that we can build this new dream together. I jotted down a couple, but really just the enormous challenges. My values are to get through this together. We are all interconnected. in this web of life, and we need to hold agencies accountable. We all want to support the small businesses and affordable housing, green energy for this planet that is dying, normalize mental health, fight for social justice, support livable wages and fair elections, because I want to support and amplify the quietest of voices, those who are underrepresented, so that everyone no one will be left behind. I have my support crew here. I am a stakeholder. I don't know if you can see all my support crew. I'm a stakeholder in this, invested in the future. I ran for office because of my children, and I ran for office because of your children, Rochester, regardless of the circumstances of birth, that we all need to succeed together. We are not always born into our family. Our families are community. And so my final kind of plea, I guess, to everyone is to be vigilant with the safety of COVID this winter, and to reach out if you're able and make sure that other people are not left behind. I watched a thing with my children yesterday about a Minnesota educator who organized a grassroots community food bank, and her motto was, be a good person and do good things. And kindness will create the space where truth can emerge. And I want to say that, like Martin Luther King Jr. says, that only light can drive out darkness. We need to look for the light, Rochester, so that we can create that light and all get through this together. So thank you so much, and I look forward to the future. Thank you.
Woo! Thank you, Councilmember Dennis. Appreciate your words. Before I turn over to Council President Carlson, on behalf of the entire team, 900 full-time teammates, countless volunteers and part-time teammates that work for this organization and work for this community, I just want to say welcome, congratulations, and thank you for your efforts to date, as well as us working collaboratively with you to move forward this organization and this community. And with that, Council President Carlson, I am going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Reimer. And thank you to Judge Lund again for being with us today for that special moment of swearing us all in. Can everybody hear me okay one more time? Yes, okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, with that, I'd like to call this City Council meeting